Welcome to the CEOS era conversations powered by the Boss Women Network. Today's special guest is Mrs. Kevaniel Newbold with the Bold Consulting Agency. And we are here to highlight women like her who are building intentionally, leading strategically, and choosing to put themselves first while creating business that actually works for their lives. Today's guest brings a level of operational expertise that every business owner needs. She has over a decade of experience across business operations, human resources, payroll, leadership, and she is the founder of the Bold Consulting Agency. So, welcome, Kevaniel. And thank you for joining me today. So, let's start by you telling us a little about yourself, your background, and what led you into business operations.
Yes, I'm Kevaniel Newbold. My background is in operations. I started out actually as a front desk receptionist. So I didn't get thrown into the back end operations at all. I started out as a business receptionist, and alongside that, I was also a administrative assistant in a tax office. So those two roles kind of sparked my interest in regards to business and how business operates. And when I was in the hospitality industry as a front desk receptionist, I had a manager that just wanted to pour into me, and she saw something in me that I did not see into myself. I didn't saw in myself until now. But with that, she sparked interest in me, and she wanted to pour into me, and she gave me the guidance that gave me the experience that I have. So she allowed me to step into roles such as doing just little things, administrative work, doing inventory for the housekeeping department, doing inventory for maintenance. So just little things like that. I started to pick up from her. And with that, in the span of 2 years, I got promoted to front desk manager. And that's when I really got into operations. You know, all of this started between 19 and 20. That's when I really got into operations. And I got experience in bank reconciliation, auditing, payroll, accounts reconciliations, human resources, accounting specialist, and that dove me into operations. So that's,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So your position with that causes you to have to know accounting. So you picked that up along the way?
I picked it up along the way, and I was in school at the time, kind of co doing the work that I was doing while also getting the education I was getting. It was like, wow, I'm going to be able to have the degree and the experience all in one. So,
How cool.
yes,
How cool how that just lined up like that.
yes, yes, it did.
Um, so you founded the Bold Consulting Agency with a strong focus on back-end systems. Why did you choose this business, and what did you see that made you say, this is the lane I'm supposed to be in?
So, seeing how I had firsthand experience and how impactful it was when things were not organized, it really sparked my interest. I became like a person who had a real liking for putting puzzle pieces together. Why wasn't this streamlined? Why didn't this work? Why was this department not communicating with this department correctly? And it just overall was like something along the way in every single industry, as far as businesses that I worked with, they all had one key component, and that was structure. And it's crazy enough, you know, you would think, especially big businesses, that they have it all together, but there's always something within the crack of the pipeline that is causing leakages. And that is where backend and understanding how to organize backend systems comes into play. And now with the AI industry that we have going on and how rapidly it is, fortunately for business owners, you do have systems now can be automated and streamlined and can communicate with each other.
So, a day of being hired by your company, what does that consist of when they hire you and you see that the systems are out of place? What kind of strategies do you go in with?
So I first go in with asking them the questions: what is your overall goal? level, right? So you want to be able to see the bigger picture. Yes, you want to be able to have the address to the destination to put into your maps, right? But alongside that, we kind of break those down into bite-sized pieces. Even though your goal is to get here, what currently now are you facing with? What are your challenges? And as we reduce the struggles bit by bit, we start to realize what is missing in this destinational map that you're trying to get to. It could be, oh, I want to be able to onboard my clients and not do any form of email marketing or anything like that. Okay, so what are you currently doing now? Well, I have an email system. Okay, so within your email system, is your email system audited? Do you know what your email system is doing? So within, as you spark the conversation, they start like, no, it actually isn't, or I don't really know my email system marketing. So
Hmm.
you kind of get the I get my clients to, one, say everything out loud, because once you speak it is different than what's in your mind. Like once you hear and try to understand, okay, this is missing, this is not working, I need a person for this, I need to delegate this, then it kind of starts putting the pieces together.
Hmm. So are you now implementing a lot of those AI systems into your program?
Yes. So I do implement system integration. Some of my clients, either they do have systems, but they don't know how to utilize their systems that they have. Like
Oh.
a lot of the CRM systems that we have now, we have like HubSpot, Go High Level.
Mhm.
You have Wix, even has some of new
Yeah.
AI systems that you can utilize. Some people do have systems, but they don't understand how integrated their systems can do. A lot of systems now can communicate with your Gmail, with your Outlook, with your Facebook, with your Instagram. There's so much that you can do. And sometimes people are paying for these systems, but they're not utilizing it to its full capacity.
That is so true. So
Yeah.
you go in and basically show them how to set up the systems, or are you setting up the systems for them?
So I go in and consult them on how to set them up. If they don't have people themselves to delegate these tasks to, then yes, I do hands-on, but majority of it is done with you, not done for you, unless you don't have the team to delegate the task to.
Do you also set up like phone systems? You know how sometimes they have they have the AI talking for you now.
Yes, I do. I do also set up phone systems. I set up overall operational hubs.
Mhm.
Some people, if they, again, it's depending on what level you're at, your income. We decide all of that. And once I audit where you're at in your business, if you want to utilize Notion or Twilio or Monday.com or Motion, it's so many choices that can be utilized based on where you're at in your business at the time.
I love that. Okay. And I'm sure a lot of businesses need that back end help.
Yes.
Um, there's a moment most business owners don't expect, like realizing starting a business means becoming our department and marketing team all at once. You mentioned that this pushed you toward automation and AI. Um, have you automated that in your business? Can you talk about that?
Yes, I realized very quickly that I cannot be everything to everyone, and I
Yes.
cannot be multiple departments as one human being. That causes a lot of burnout. So, yes, I have implemented from automated emails to voice responses to when a person books an appointment with me, it's all generated through my system. Sometimes my responses or my email responses can sound like me, but it's not me. And it's bad to say, but when you realize as a business owner, it's so much to it. It's so
It
much
is.
to it, and it could become very overwhelming very quickly. And then understanding how to organize yourself. And funny enough, me being a person who organize other people's business, I would need to organize myself, right? So
Right, right.
I'm able to fully give them my full potential, and I can't do that without filling my own cup and systemizing my own business. So,
That makes sense. I know that was a big help because AI definitely changed my life as far as business goes.
and
Um, you said something powerful. Systems aren't just for business, they're good for yourself. Now, explain what do you mean by that and how automation has changed the way you operate overall.
so overall, systems are great personally and professionally. And I do workshops on this for leadership development. We all have a system, whether you think it's good or bad, depending on who you are, where you are in your current season. Getting up, going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, putting on your glasses, putting on your contacts, whatever it is, that's a system. You tend to do this every day, sometimes unknowingly, but it's something that you create for yourself. After you do that, you go downstairs, go make yourself breakfast, grab your keys, your phone, your wallet, start your day, get in the car. You're developing a system over time. And once you realize how well that system works for you, depends on how effective your day is. So if my system is journaling for 2 minutes to make sure, regulate my nervous system to have a fantastic day, I will journal for 2 minutes to regulate my system to have a fantastic day. And that's how we systemize ourselves personally. We all, as human beings, work functionally and phenomenally in structure. And in order for us to do that, we have to create systems. And that's why I love what I do, and I'm very passionate about what I do because it can correlate with my personal life and personal development.
That is a great way of explaining it to people that don't understand the back end systems or the AI systems, because you do use systems in your everyday life and don't even realize you have a system. And
Exactly.
to be able to explain that part and then take them into the AI, like, then this is how it works for your business, the same way it works in your personal life. You have to have a system and structure in place,
Exactly.
especially for the new business owners or entrepreneurs that are doing it all by themselves. Um, you've been open about facing imposter syndrome, which we have all faced at
Mhm.
some point, and fear around visibility. How did those challenges show up for you, and what happened, and what helped you push through them?
I did, I forgot the term for it, rejection therapy.
Mm.
I learned how to put myself in situations that I would either get rejected or have some form of nervousness, like it could be singing on a stage of 200 people, or it could be walking into rooms of people I felt was more knowledgeable and had more advancement than I did, but I stepped in there and I presented myself with the knowledge that I had. Or it could have been calling different businesses to see if they would be able to, or if they needed my services, and they told me no. Like, I just pushed myself to get comfortable with no's. And as hurtful as it is in the beginning, and as I questioned myself relentlessly as the no's kept coming, I was like, where's my yes gonna come from? But it helped so much with understanding you have to go through the process and the journey. And in order for you to go through the process and the journey, there are going to be some bumps and detours in the route. My mom says this most powerful thing that it sticks with me to this day. There's never a testimony without test. And in order for you to be able to have a profound story, you have to understand there will be tribulations within the journey. So,
Hmm. I love that. I was just going to ask you about your mother because you did mention that and how she has been a major influence that shaped the way you lead and how you show up as a business owner today. Um, but that before we get into that deeper, you said rejection therapy. I didn't even know that was a thing, or is that something that you created yourself and decided to push yourself out there to just get rejected and be able to handle it?
No, rejection therapy is actually a thing. I'm all
Oh,
for,
wow.
yeah, I'm all for mental health and knowing that, especially as a business owner, everything has to align mental, physically, emotionally. It all has to come together. And I have been to therapy and I've done a lot of things to understand who I am and how I can show up for myself. It's not easy. No, we're all human and we all fall short for sure. But understanding that in order for you to get over something or to get through something, you have to go through it and not dismiss it. And with when I was in therapy and she brought up this whole rejection therapy, because I kept telling her I don't know what's going on. I had such confidence prior to my business or in leadership roles. I had so much confidence, but for some reason I'm hindering myself. And it's like when you become a business owner, instead of becoming a butterfly, you become a turtle and want to crawl in your shell. Well, for me,
Okay.
at least, I can't, you
I
know,
can relate. I can
yeah.
relate.
It's just like, man, I have to market. That means I have to post up on Instagram and Facebook. I don't want to do
I
that.
got a network. I got to show up to places and talk to people.
Exactly. It's just a different level that you have. You become your own walking billboard. And
Yes.
so, in order for me to show up and be confident in what I do and truly trust myself, I had to take myself out of my comfort zone. And rejection therapy really helped. Now, don't get me wrong, I still get nervous, but it's not the way that it used to be for sure.
I love that. That's a great tip for myself and others. I'm sure they'll take that information and run with it because I never thought about just putting myself in the room. I mean, we know to put ourselves in the rooms, but like with intention to be rejected so you can become stronger with the no's.
Yeah.
That is definitely a great piece of advice for me and anybody else that would be viewing this podcast. So thank you for sharing that. Um, you say again, we go back to your mom. You say she's your biggest inspiration. How has her influence shaped the way you lead and build and show up as a business owner today?
Oh man, my mom is a walking image of virtue and elegance, I would say. She's a very resilient woman, like a very, very resilient woman. And throughout my childhood, her resiliency and how she showed up not only for others but herself. There's one
Mhm.
thing she does every single morning, and she wakes up around like 4 or 5 a.m. She's done this since I could remember, and she takes that time to pray, reflect, to just pour into herself before her day starts. And she always says, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I cannot fully be a wife and a mother and a friend and all these other roles without truly understanding myself and loving myself, because no one, no matter, and mind you, her and my dad has been together for forever. She was like, no person can love me the way that I love me. Um, and yeah, it's
That is that was that was the best advice that she could give because
yeah,
that is a lot of us we get so caught up into life that we forget about ourselves, especially when you're an empath. You want to help everybody else, you want to see everybody else win, you want to pour into everybody's cup, and sometimes we lose sight of ourselves.
yeah.
Um and that's part of the reason why I started the CEOS brand because that's it means CEOS means a female CEO, which is about self first, like focusing on you, your mental health, your business are the things that you're trying to accomplish first before you can go out here and help somebody else. Um, and you're right, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So I love that. That was some great advice. And I'm sure that has definitely helped you. A lot of people don't have moms that are that mentally strong. Women go through so much, divorce or just all kind of things we go through as women. And sometimes our moms aren't able to show up for us like that and get that type of advice early on. So that's a blessing that you had that strength at an early age. So I can see how that can shape the person that you are today. Um, One thing that aligns perfectly with the CEO era is your commitment to checking in with yourself, like I was saying, regularly and listening to your body. What does putting yourself first look like for you while still growing in your business?
Checking in with myself. I develop a system where I do, and it's crazy. A lot of people might think this is weird, but I do monthly and quarterly check-ins with myself. So I go through an audit. I'm like, okay, where are we at mentally? How are we feeling? Did we accomplish our goals? Even if we didn't accomplish our goals, how do we feel about not accomplishing our goals? What do I need in this season or within this moment? What did I neglect as far as what I promised myself? And we go through times where, of course, life's, and we tend to fall back into old routines and old habits, and that's
Yeah.
okay. But in order to get back on track, we have to regulate, okay, this happened, we're here, now what do we do with it? Are we going to
Mm.
continue on this road, or are we going to navigate back to the regulated plan that we have for ourselves? So definitely my check-ins with myself truly makes me show up. It keeps me sane. I have a level of faith now, understanding to trust where I'm at and be okay with the messiness of the journey. And that's another thing, understanding that it's okay to be a little messy. It's all right to give yourself grace to be like, we're humans. It happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, just learning to regulate where I'm at.
That is so cool. You have business meetings like
Yeah,
like with the team, but you are the team. So you're having these business meetings with yourself to
exactly.
make sure you're aligned in what you're supposed to doing with self. That is such a great idea. That's another one. That's another one. Even though I have self check-ins, I never put it's just more so random. It's not like a scheduled thing. Like I force it. It gets to the point for me where I would say God forces me to do a reality check or a check, a self check on my mental and myself. But that's when it's gone too far. It shouldn't be that way. It should be I have it scheduled like a meeting with myself. Do you do these monthly, quarterly, weekly? How often do you do them?
Yes, I do them monthly and quarterly. So it just depends on the season that I'm in. I might need to do monthly. But then sometimes I'm coasting, I'm good. We could do it quarterly. My quote is prevention is always better than the cure. So it's better
Yes.
than the cure. So I would rather
Yes.
prevent, especially, in my 20s, I just lived life. I just went about my day. But as you grow older and that, I guess, that frontal lobe starts developing, you start
Yes.
to realize, like, okay, wait,
You can't live like that. Yeah.
you
That is so
can't like
good.
that.
Wow. So that's what made you get to the point of doing those check-ins. So were you going through the going through it like me where I guess I was going through burnout, I guess, and it was forcing me to have moments of self-checks. Were you going through the burnout phase and then you was like, "Okay, I got to get better than this. I got to prepare for this in advance and start having regularly or monthly self-checks."
Burnout phase, yes. And then there was a season in life where God sat me down.
Okay.
He sat me all the way down. So I had no other choice to reevaluate every single thing in my life. And man,
Mm,
oh man, was that hard, but it was needed. And that is where I was like, okay, we have to understand, we have to understand ourselves and what's going to work for us, because the way I was living was just not it. It was not working.
totally understand. Been there. So, for the business owners listening who feel overwhelmed, disorganized, or stretched thin, what's the first shift they need to make to regain control of their operations and their time?
Audit, audit yourself, audit where you're at, and don't do it in a, oh, I have to have point one, point two, point three. No, whatever is going on in your mind, just write it down. And even though it might look a mess on paper, that's a part of it. Understanding exactly where you're at and where you want to go. And then within those two elements, you'll start piecing the pieces in between. So realize where you're at, take a moment, where there's no TV, no music, no anything. It's just you and your thoughts and a pen and a piece of paper. and evaluate where you're at. So you can start with, how is my business doing? Um, how am I feeling? Is my business generating money that I thought they were going to generate? Um, is my business running the way that I thought it was going to run? So just simple questions to truly understand where you're at, is the starting point.
I love that. That's perfect. Perfect advice. Is there anything new that you're working on that you would want to share?
Um, I will be starting a podcast about operations. That's in the works for 2026. I know, I'm excited. I'm always talking
Mhm.
systems to my peers, and I wanted to start sharing it out in the world. So it's going to be system and operations related, and sometimes um, personal as well. I do workshops called Beyond the Blueprint, and this is for more younger and like ages from 14 to 19,
Oh,
and it's called Beyond the Blueprint. And basically, it's about understanding. Yes, we're provided a blueprint per se. You know, you go to school, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a degree, you go get a job. That's kind of the overall blueprint. But beyond that, when the life makes you pivot, how do you navigate that pivoting? Um, so understanding systems, how systems comes into place, how checking in with yourself, how to audit, how to do those quarterly check-ins, certain things like that. So in that podcast, that's how it's going to be correlated with everything. So I'm excited for that.
oh, I just love the fact that you are targeting the 14 through 19-year-olds. Is that the market for your podcast or for the program that you were speaking about?
Oh, so that's actually a program that I was speaking about. So I'm connected with an organization where I go in, I speak to the girls, and help them learn how to navigate life and give them more of a variety of just what they are accustomed to. That could be their upbringing, their ideologies, what they see, what they intake, just giving them the framework that there's so much to life, and even though the cards you are given, how to play the game, and how to
Hmm,
learn how to pivot and things like that. So,
that is great. Where are you located for the young girls that may want to be interested in your program?
yes, I'm located in Florida, in Southwest Florida, so in the Naples area.
Okay.
And I speak in Immokalee, is a small area, and then also in Fort Myers. So those are the.
Do you ever like offer like Zoom sessions or anything like that where you have group sessions where they can reach you online as well?
Yes, yes. So I am starting group sessions online, and that is with another organization called the CEO Academy. So I double and dabble in different organizations and partnerships.
That's
Um,
pretty cool.
yeah, so it's called the CEO Academy, and we do have a program coming up this month, actually. And I could share that with you if you want to share anybody that is interested. So
Yeah, share away.
yeah, we speak on financial, address for success, all that wonderful stuff. Self-esteem is really good.
Oh, that is great. Well, how can people reach you if they wanted to connect with you and your work and everything that you're doing?
Yes, so you can connect with me on boldconsultantagency.com. Also, Bold Consultant Agency on Instagram. Kevi is Bold on Instagram. That's my personal one. My email address is admin@boldconsulting.com, boldconsultingagency, sorry.com. And yeah, and also on LinkedIn, I'm Kevaniel Newbold as well.
Kevaniel Newbold. All
Mhm.
right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, but I want to say thank you, Kevaniel, so much for sharing your journey, your insight, your leadership with us today. Your perspective reminds us that structure creates freedom and scaling starts with self-awareness. So, thank you so much for joining me today and good luck with everything and much success to you and everything that you're working on.
Thank you. I enjoyed.
All right. Bye.